How's it going, sports checkdown fans? And I would like to start off today by addressing Kyler Murray. So, if you guys don't know, Kyler Murray is a national football player. He plays in the NFL, and he plays for the Arizona Cardinals, and he's a quarterback. He's a pretty short quarterback, so no one really believed in him. He was still picked with the number 1 overall pick, but there were still many doubts about him. I didn't have much doubts about him, and it may just seem like I'm saying that now, but he was my favorite quarterback coming in, and he's still my favorite quarterback after the year. Anyway, so he had a pretty good year. I'm reading off his stats. He had a 64.4% completion rate. He had an 87.4 QBR. He had 3,722 yards, and he had 20 touchdowns and 12 interceptions. Now, those stats may seem average to a little above average, but those are actually pretty good considering what he had to deal with, because in Arizona, he didn't have much help. The best weapon he had on wide receiver, I would probably say, was either Christian Kirk or Larry Fitzgerald. And Larry Fitzgerald is a great receiver. He's a top 5 receiver all time. But for this season, he was old, and he had a career resurgence because last year with Josh Rosen, he didn't have a good year, but he had a much better year, but he's no longer the player he was. He's still a spectacular player. I'd love to have him on my team any day of the week, but he's no longer a wide receiver 1 or 2. He'd be a wide receiver 3. So considering those stats, Kyler Murray had a great year, and I feel like no one is talking about him this year or this offseason and what a jump he's going to make, because I believe he could have a jump similar to Lamar Jackson or even Patrick Mahomes, where they became MVPs in their second season. And I believe this could be achieved if the Cardinals get one offensive lineman in the first round or get a wide receiver, but I wouldn't say get it in the first round. I would say get someone like Justin Jefferson out of LSU in the second round. I feel like he's going to fall there. There's a lot of talent in wide receiver this year that I believe you can get in the second round. You can even get Henry Ruggs or someone such as that in the second round. He may not fall, but he may also fall in the second round. There's a slight chance he could or not. But seeing what he did in his first year with those stats I read off to you, they are absolutely spectacular. Like, to put that in perspective, Daniel Jones, who plays for the New York Giants, had 3,027 yards compared to Kyler Murray's 3,722. He had a 61.9% completion rate compared to Murray's 64.4. He had 4 more touchdowns than Kyler Murray, and the same amount of interceptions, but Kyler Murray's his QBR is also a little lower, but what Kyler Murray did on the ground was absolutely spectacular, and I believe he wasn't utilized correctly. I believe he was utilized pretty good, but not to the best of his abilities. As Cliff Kingsbury, I like the hire because I feel like it's really helped Kyler Murray, but I feel like Cliff Kingsbury should have used him more on the ground, and there wasn't much plays designed for Kyler Murray to run. Kyler Murray ran off when he was chased, so he ran off the line of scrimmage when he was chased, but they weren't designed for him to run, which I feel like would have been very helpful to his growth if Cliff Kingsbury incorporated that more, and I feel like he's going to do it more. But Kyler Murray just had an overall spectacular year, and I feel like he could only improve from here because his what you saw in Oklahoma, I felt like it was the greatest college football season up until Joe Burrow's college football season. But Kyler Murray, before Joe Burrow, had the greatest college football season ever. And I feel like we're going to get more of that Kyler Murray than we are of the Arizona Cardinals 2019 Kyler Murray, who is still great. But I feel like the Cardinals found their next great franchise quarterback. Well, not next great, because this is going to be their first great franchise quarterback. And I feel like Kyler Murray is going to be a top 5 quarterback in the league. Maybe not next year. He could have a drastic jump like Lamar Jackson did, but I feel like in the years to come, the Cardinals did the right choice by trading away Josh Rosen, which you got to feel bad for the guy because his career is basically ruined. We're not sure if the Dolphins are gonna take Tua Tagovailoa or if they're gonna stick with Josh Rosen. But either way, I feel like his career has been screwed. But Kyler Murray was absolutely the right choice for the Arizona Cardinals, and I believe he's going to have a huge improvement as he's going to have more help. His players are going to adapt to him better. they're going to get players that fit him better. So Andy Isabella, I feel like, is going to get more touches. I think Kenyon Drake, who is an absolutely spectacular pickup, is going to be great for us, for the Arizona Cardinals. And I believe they're going to trade away David Johnson for some picks or a player that could really help Kyler Murray, like an offensive lineman. So that would be great. And with an offensive lineman, I feel like Kyler Murray, like 2 good offensive linemen or even 1, will be night and day better. Also, the wide receivers, I really feel like they're going to pick another one up in the second round. Or they might just trust what they have in Akeem Butler, who's a beast coming out of college, but he broke his foot or something like that, and so he had to miss the whole season. But I feel like Kyler Murray is due for a pretty good year, and I feel like they might even make the playoffs, the Arizona Cardinals, because they have a lot of young talent and they have a lot of potential. I'd say this is a sleeper team in the NFC. Also the Giants, but not as much, because the Cardinals defensively, yeah, they're not good, but Chandler Jones can really impact a game at times when he really needs to. And so I believe they could fight for a wild card spot or maybe even win the division if the San Francisco 49ers get a Super Bowl hangover. Like the last few teams that have had good defenses and average quarterbacks haven't done so good. Like Jacksonville Jaguars, the next season, after they made the AFC Championship, they kind of flopped. And same with the Chicago Bears. Last season, they made the playoffs. They were looking good. Got upset by a double doink, but everyone was expecting them to have a division win or win the division, but that didn't happen, and instead they missed the playoffs. So maybe that could happen to the San Francisco 49ers. And I feel like Seattle is a good team, but they might not have the help necessary for Russell Wilson because there isn't many wide receivers besides DK Metcalf and Lockett. And I just feel like those aren't enough, but we'll see. But I feel like the Cardinals are a sleeper team. They probably won't win the division, but I feel like they could win a wild card spot, especially if the new CBA goes by, because I think they're adding another wild card team. I believe so. And I feel like no one else can compete. Maybe Dallas Cowboys or Philadelphia Eagles, one of those two, whichever don't make it. I feel like they could compete, but I just am not sold on the Cowboys or the Eagles. But I feel like everyone's sleeping on the Cardinals, and especially Kyler Murray. I think he's due for a spectacular 2020 to 2021 season, and I feel like he could lead his team to the playoffs, and I think he could win MVP. He's a sleeper MVP pick, dark horse MVP pick. Right now, going into it, I would probably take Patrick Mahomes, but I really would, if you're trying to get the big bucks, I would really bank on Kyler Murray. But otherwise, besides that, I just think Kyler Murray is due for a great year. And thanks for tuning in to Sports Checkdown. Hope to catch you guys later. Please subscribe and like the video. Thank you.